Hey, hello everyone. It's great to have you all on board. It's another time with Tuthor, the enthusiastic Tuthor. So, as I was explaining, like I said earlier, we're taking the course ENT304, and it happens to be the revision class for the course. We're going to be communicating through these are questions you must have come across. These are questions you must have come across while trying to study your course material. And for this, all right, for this particular course, we have a private class where if you join early, all right, you will be guided, all right, towards all your courses for the semester. The unfortunate thing is students don't sign up early, join very late, and due to this reason, they don't get to cover much. And like I usually say, whenever we have our revision classes, I usually inform students that it's okay to join early. When you join early, it translates to you are starting your courses early. Classes are taking effect early, and with this, we have ample time at our disposal to go through things. So for those of us who are will be interested in this next semester, all you need to do is reach out to us through our official website, tutor.io.net, where you find the WhatsApp button in the top right hand corner. The course we are taking tonight, the keynote of this course should be available later tonight. So for those of us who are interested in the keynote, just to reach out to us and request keynotes actually just for the photo. So this being said, let's hop straight into this class. Okay. Now, I can see the comment section is busy. Okay. Now, let's take our first question for tonight from the course ENT304. Now, this is one thing, although I don't expect this to be news to students. All right. When it comes to the POP exam, it's a bit different. All right. It's different compared to the CBT, which is more like a garbage in, garbage out. All right. For this POP, you get to express yourself, you get to submit your input, and you have the liberty, we call it open-ended, to say something, to write something down concerning the said question. So the fun part of it is you are not limited, you are not constrained. You have the liberty to express yourself in as much as you don't write out of tangent. Everything you write is in line with the question that have been asked. So tonight, we're starting with the first question, leadership. Now, if you are giving an answer to a question, please, at this level, I don't expect you to write, let's say, for example, you are expected to define a particular term. I don't expect you to write, the term is defined. No, don't give such definition. All right? You come up with something different from starting like that. So to start with tonight's question number one will be, now, a precise answer is required for each question. You don't have to write me an epistle. A precise, more like a bullet point, is okay. All right? Because I believe there are limitations to what you can write on the comment section. Do you understand? Give a brief history of leadership. A brief history of leadership. Now, I don't expect you to write me an epistle, like I said. All right. I need you to give me bullet point when talking about history of leadership. Okay. We have our first question for tonight. Okay. We have our first question. So please let's use the comment section to provide answers. I'm getting good responses already. Please let's use the comment section to provide answers. Okay, I'm getting some good responses. Miss Miss Adeleke. Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Adeleke. History of leadership can be traced far back to the time of creation. Mr. Noah also consents to that. Tech Mindset says it also traces back to the time of creation. Okay, Adesile says it can be the process of guiding or influencing. Okay, that's more like a definition. All right. Now, Miss Olajumoke says leadership is a guide. All right. Leadership is the ability to guide. Paya. Yes, thank you very much for that. But Miss Ade and Miss Olajumoke have not been able to answer them. Now, this is one thing to understand. According to this question, it says, give a brief history of leadership. What that question requires of you is that you know about how leadership came into being, how leadership started. Okay? Defining leadership is not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to talk about the genesis of leadership. Having talked about genesis of leadership, then you can now chip in the definition of leadership. So please note this. So as far as the issue of leadership is concerned, like some of us has correctly said, it can be traced back to the time of creation. All right? When God created all creatures, all right, the time of creation happens to be where God, the creation, God, the creator, made his creation. And then, all right, after all this creation process is complete, he crowned it up with man. And that man was called Adam or Adam. Adam here happens to be the leader, the chief in command. Are we together? Of the activity that goes on in that space. Adam is filling a position of a leader. That is a brief for Genesis of leadership from the perspective which we have made mention of. I'm not saying it cannot be looked into from different perspectives, but from that particular perspective, which is more like a biblical account of leadership. Okay. Now, so we have the next question. It says, give 3 different definitions of the term leadership. You might go as far as quoting, but I don't think that's necessary. Also, let's keep the answers flowing in. Okay. Yes. Three different definitions. Wonderful. Okay. Let's keep the answers rolling in. Awesome. Wonderful. We all have spoken well, okay? From different perspectives, we all have spoken well and contributed well. When we talk about leadership, are we all together? When we talk about leadership, it is an act of mobilizing, all right, others, all right, towards achieving a goal. Wonderful. Now, it is okay to quote the author of these definitions, but Will you remember that in the exam? Will you remember that when you get to the exam hall? It's okay to quote them like I've said, but you want to look out for the definition of leadership that you will easily remember and not forget in the exam hall. All right. But from all these definitions, we have done a great job, whereby we see leadership as the ability to help others achieve things they don't think they are possible. All right. Things they don't think are possible. When you help others achieve things they do not think are possible to a leader. The ability to what? Confidently, unapologetically express, all right, and see the vision of your business. The definition is endless. It can go on and on and on. Now let's take more questions. Now let's take this. Lists, all right? List and explain just 3 principles of leadership. All right? List and explain. List and explain 3 principles of leadership. What are those things? Do. All right? Not even do. No, let's not be intentional about do. What are those things that guides your decision as a leader? Things people must see you act. A way of life you must display. Those are principles. What guides your decision? What guides your character, your behavior as a leader are called your principles. So list out these 3 principles. There are a lot of them, but let's just do 3 and explain real quickly, please. Let's do this real quickly. Okay. Awesome. Getting some nice responses already. Yes. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Wonderful. Like I said, it's actually a long list. But one thing you need to know is that as a leader, you need to be a role model. And by being a role model, you are setting good examples for others to follow. As onions, you must be technically proficient, know the job in and out. As a leader, you must always seek improvement. You must always be improving yourself. As a leader, you cannot afford to be timid. You must be sound. Yes, we all have spoken well. So real quickly, let's talk about these three types of leaders and explain. Now, you know I'm saying list and explain. When we say state, you're also doing the same thing. So now, list and explain, state, three types of leaders. Awesome. Let's keep up the good job. Just three of them. Just three. Empathy, yes, thank you for that. Vision, yes, awesome. As a leader, you must be accountable. Yes, thank you very much for that. Also, yes, thank you very much. Also, wonderful. Traditional leaders, leaders like kings, chiefs, and the like. Appointed leaders. This is the leader that are. These are the kind of leaders whose influence arises directly from their position, the likes of the managers and supervisor. Situational leaders. This kind of leader are only relevant if they are the right place at the right time. Those are the situational leaders. Okay. Now let's take more questions. Our time is fast spent. Now, let's take this question. What do you understand by corporate governance? What do you understand by corporate? Okay. Corporate governance. Awesome. Thank you very much for that. Corporate governance. This is just very simple and straightforward thing. Now, when we talk about corporate, we are talking about formalities. We are talking about a well-structured and organized system. I want to talk about governance. It's all about guiding principles. It's all about rules and regulations that determines how affairs should be run. So when I bring corporate and governance together, we are simply talking about the determination, all right, of how affairs should be run in an organization, all right, in order to establish continuity and attract investors from within and without. Because definitely an organization will be intentional, it will be intentional and particular about doing well so they can have, attract investors. So there are recipes you must look out for. So it says here that it's about the relationship between the corporate managers, the directors, and the shareholders. Directors are the, we can refer to them as board of directors, they are the one that makes certain decisions. The managers are the one that collects information, the instructions from these directors, and shareholders are those people outside that are co-owner of the company. So the relationship between all of them, talking about it as corporate governance. All right. Just like some of us have said correctly, we are looking at it from a broad point of view now. It has to do with the combination of laws, regulations. It encompasses, it consists of the laws, the regulations, and so on and so forth, all right, that has to do with how an organization is being run, all right, how a corporate organization is to be, all right, run. Yes, thank you very much for that. Now let's take one more question. I'll call it a wrap for tonight. Our time is fast spent. Now, like I said, please don't forget, questions might not see these questions the way you expect them. But no matter how they choose this question, always have at the back of your mind that you can attempt this question. And with that kind of mindset, you'll be able to write something down. Now, when you hear of task force on cooperative governance, all right, task force on cooperative governance, what do you have to say about the task force, all right, on cooperative, all right, governance? What do you understand by the task force on cooperative governance? Okay, getting some nice responses. Wonderful. All right. So we can refer to task force as a body. All right. This body is intentional about ensuring the effectiveness, all right, of cooperative governance. This task force provide what we refer to as a guidance, all right, guidance to nations who seek to improve corporate governance. So they are just like PECs, all right, bank, which you know as central bank, over other banks in Nigeria. So this is what the tax force basically can be compared to. So we're going to call it wrap here for tonight. Thank you very much, everyone. I really have been able to gain something in tonight's class. I wish you all the best and success in exams tomorrow. Do have a wonderful evening and bye for now.